Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. And this week we're going over the Hot 10 record-breaking sales. It'll be really interesting to see and go back on some of these videos way in the future and see which comic books are on the list and what they're going for. So yeah, we'll see. That'll be an interesting look up. Welcome to the channel. My name's Frank, and I'm going to be going over these comic books. Like the video if you guys like this video. Comment down below what you guys thought, and subscribe if you want to catch more content like this. I do appreciate all of you. And I am doing a giveaway, so do not forget about that. At the end of the video, there will be a little card that you guys can click on that'll take you to that video, and I'm doing that contest for free. Now remember, I'm going to go over if I think you guys should be buying these comic books or not. I'm not a financial advisor, but I'm going to, let you guys know what I think I would be putting my money into and comic books that I would be investing in. So take that with a grain of salt and invest your money in what you guys really feel like you should be investing into. Don't listen to some person on the internet just because I'm on the internet. So first up on the list, we got Marvel Premiere number 28. Of course, this is an issue that keeps coming up. And now I think that this is a great comic book. Don't get me wrong. But I don't know if we're ever going to see anything like this in the movies or not. But I still think it's a really great issue and something that, for the long term, it's a great comic to own, in my opinion. Now, there's no really big record-breaking sales. However, lower grades are selling that haven't sold before. So we're really starting to see where the value on this comic book is. We had a 4.5. Again, no previous sales before. Sell for $130. That's a pretty good price for a 4.5 in my opinion. We also had a 2.5 sell for $93 and a 2.0 sell for $60. So we'll see if more of these come on the market and to see really where the value is. But again, I think that this is a great comic book and something worth looking into investing your money in, again, in my opinion. Next up, a comic that's no stranger to the list, we got Marvel Spotlight number 5, the first appearance of Ghost Rider. Now, this is obviously a great comic and a great issue to own. I obviously own my own copy in a 0.5, so something that I'm investing my money into. We have some small record-breaking sales this week, but staying consistent at high numbers. So consistency is pretty key with this comic, and we keep hearing rumors that we're going to see Ghost Rider in Doctor Strange 2. So we'll see. I hope that he's there. Obviously, that's why I'm invested in it, but you never know. So we had a 5.0 last sell in June for $1,945, and that's up 3%, going for $2,000. So it's still good to see an increase in value, no matter how small it is, but it's not too big of an increase. We also had a 6.0 last sell in March for $2,650, and that's up 4% this week, going for $2,750. But we also had another copy sell this week for $2,675. But that's actually pretty good because you have to think that if somebody already paid that much for it, that the next runner up is not going to, of course, pay more than it. He's going to want to pay less. So that makes sense why another copy sold this week for a little bit less, but usually when that happens, it's a lot less. So that's pretty good to see that it's still actually that high. We also had a 9.6 last sell in November for $85,000, and that's already up 7%, going for $90,000. So that's a huge comic, but those higher grades, again, these are hard to find in higher grades because of like the black issue, but still those are some big numbers for the higher grade copies. But it's a great comic and a great first appearance, and something that over time I feel like this is a great comic to own. Next up, again, another comic that we're going to keep seeing on these lists, I feel like, for at least a little while. We've got Nova number 1, the first appearance of Nova, the Richard Rider Nova. Now, this is a great comic book to be into. I would try to get a deal if you can, but this one may be a little hard to find a deal for a little bit, but there are a ton of graded copies on the CGC consensus. So this one could come down in price a little, so I would just watch out for it. But some record-breaking sales, we had a 5.0 last sell in November for $150. That's up 17% this week, going for $175. So That's a pretty decent jump in price, but not a huge one. Next up, we had a 6.5 last sell in February for $169, and that's up 7% this week, going for $180. Again, not a big increase in sale for the lower ones, but that increased 7% just since February, so that's a pretty decent jump. We also had a 7.5 last sell in December for $210, and that's up 5% already, now going for $220. So again, this is a comic book that I feel like the higher grade issues, those ones are going to be really the ones that you see big increases on. But again, we'll see. Next up on this week's record-breaking sales list, at number 7, we have Journey into Mystery number 83. This is, of course, the first appearance of Thor. With Thor Love and Thunder in production, we're gonna probably see this one increase in value some, especially in copies that haven't sold in a while. This is a great comic book to own. This is just a blue chip comic. This is something that if you just held on to for a long time, this comic's gonna always increase in value, in my opinion. We had a 4.0 last sell in October for $16,570. Now that's staying strong. It's only up 1%, but it just went for $16,800. So that's a huge number, but it's staying consistent at that number, so that's actually a pretty good sign for this comic. We also had a 7.0 last sell in June for $38,500, and that's up 6%, now going for $40,800 this week. Wow, that's very expensive for a comic. And then we had a 9.4 last sell in September for $319,800. Now that's up 35%, going for $432,000. Wow. Those are some huge sales. This is just a really, really great first appearance. I think this is a great comic. Again, if you can get one for a deal, holy smokes, pick it up. But this is something that I don't have that kind of money to put into a comic, but if you had something that you could just buy and put off for a long time, this is a great, great comic to be into. Now, the only thing that I would be leery of is if, the market kind of crashes, but I don't really see the market crashing, especially for blue chip keys like this. And speaking of blue chip keys, at number 6 on the list, we got X-Men number 1. This is a great blue chip key, something that's going to always increase in value over time because this is just a great, great first issue. This is the first appearance of the X-Men. I mean, how can you go wrong with that? The X-Men are coming, and this one's going to continue to see record-breaking sales, I feel like, especially once any kind of movie comes out or anything like that. But we had a 7.0 last sell in June for $49,200. That's up 28% already, now going for $63,000. Wow, those are some huge numbers. But then we had a 7.5 last sell in May for $75,000. That's up 4% this week, now going for $78,000. Whoo! Then we had an 8.0 last sell in September for $90,000. That's up 13%, going for $102,000. Man, this is a huge comic. In any grade, this is a pretty expensive comic, but definitely something that over time, this one is just going to keep increasing in value. This is a great issue and definitely just a great comic to own, as a lot of these are on the list. Next up on the list, we got Ultimate Fallout number 4, the first appearance of Miles Morales. This is another great issue. This is one that people love, this comic, and I feel like we're going to constantly see this one on the list. We had a 9.8 tie its record-breaking sale in July for $3,840. So not an increase, but still, it's great to see it tie its record-breaking sale. And that was a direct edition, so take that for what you will. We also had a 1 in 25 variant, an 8.5 last sell in April for $4,200. That's up 11%, going for $4,650. But we also had another variant, a 9.4 last sell in April for $7,400. That's up 1%, going for $7,500. So not a lot of record breakers and not like huge record breakers, but still seeing record breaking sales. Next up at number 4, we got Silver Surfer number 4. This is Silver Surfer battling Thor, and this is just a really cool comic, and it's one of like my favorite covers. You have those issues that like your favorite covers are, and this is one of them for me. We had an 8.5 last sell in May for $3,200. That's up 3%, now going for $3,300. This is again one of those issues because it's darker. It's hard to get in a super high grade, so those higher grades are definitely going to be worth more than the lower grades. But we also had a 9.2 last sell in January for $6,000, and that's up 58% this week, going for $9,500. Again, that's why you see such a huge increase in value over that time, because those higher grades are really hard to find. But we also had a 9.6 last sell in September for $28,800. That's up 17% this week, now selling for $33,600. Whoo, man. Again, this comic's a great issue, and it's like that great cover. And if we ever saw Silver Surfer and Thor like battle, holy smokes, I really feel like this is something that we could see in the movies, because I feel like Chris Hemsworth's going to be around for a long time as Thor, and he's just great as that character. So I feel like if we ever do get Silver Surfer, this is something that could definitely happen, and this comic could really take off after that. So this is definitely another one that I would be buying. Next up, of course, we have to have Doctor Strange on the list. We've got Doctor Strange number 169. This was the first issue after the Strange Tales switches over to Doctor Strange. This is a great comic, and we're seeing some record-breaking sales this week. We had a 5.0 last sell in February for $475. That's up 13% this week, now going for $535. We also had a 7.5 last sell in February for $900, and that's up 6% this week, now going for $950. And then the mega, we had a 9.8 last sell in 2021 for $13,000. Now that's up 66%, going for $21,600. Whoo! Those higher grades like that, man, they can go for a lot of money. This is a great issue to own. I feel like this is one where after Doctor Strange 2 comes out, the hype will die down a little on this comic. That's when I would be buying. But again, this is another one of those issues that for the long term, it's just great to hold on to. I have a feeling like Benedict Cumberbatch is going to be Doctor Strange a lot, and we're going to see him for a while into the future. I think that he does a great job as Doctor Strange, and again, Doctor Strange comics will just be great comics to own. Next up at number 2, we got Werewolf by Night number 1. This is a really cool issue, and this is Werewolf by Night's first solo series, and his first appearance was obviously in Marvel Spotlight number 2. I messed that up. I meant to say this continues on from Marvel Spotlight number 4. So after that, his story continues into his first solo series. So I'm sorry that I accidentally said that his first appearance is in Marvel Spotlight number 4. It is not. But we're seeing some record-breaking sales this week. We have a 3.0 last sell in December for $100. That's up 130%, now going for $230. We had a 5.0 last sell in October for $260, and that's up 19% this week, now going for $310. And we had a 6.5 last sell in January for $330, and that's already up 16%, now going for $384. We had a 7.0 sell in February for $420, now up 7%, going for $449. And then we had an 8.5 last sell in March for $800, and that's up 3% already, now going for $825. Even in a short time frame, you are seeing this comic increase in value. So this is a great comic to own right now and just kind of hold off onto until we get any kind of trailer. So again, another comic that I would be happy having my money into right now. This is a great comic to own. And then at number 1 on the list, of course, we're going to have it on here. We've got Fantastic Four number 1, the first appearance of the Fantastic Four. And we all know, I believe, why this comic is on the list, because we had a huge record-breaking sale. We had a 9.2 last sell in 2012 for $203,150. Now it's up 638%, going for $1.5 million at auction. That is a huge sale. But again, this is the first appearance of Fantastic Four. It's something that I would expect to go for that much money because this is a great issue. And now we're going to see a lot of the lower grades start to come up in value because of that sale. We had a 2.0 last sell in March for $15,500. That's up 7%, now going for $16,600. We also had a 5.0 last sell in November for $34,800, and that's up 45% this week, now going for $50,400. And then a 7.5 last sold in 2020 for $69,000, now up 143%, going for $168,000. Holy smokes. This is a comic that is primed to keep increasing in value, especially once we see the Fantastic Four. This is another one of those blue chip comics that's always just going to increase in value over time, and this is a great issue. It's a very expensive one, but rest assured, having your money in this one, that is probably going to increase in value over time. Again, these are all just my opinions. Take them for what you will. Thank you all so much for watching this video. This is going to do it for me for this one. Do not forget that I'm giving away this X-Men 221, the first appearance of Mr. Sinister, completely for free. All you guys have to do is follow the instructions on the video, and you can click on that video right here. That's going to do it for me. Subscribe right here, and I appreciate all of you. Until next time, I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.